Okay, so here we are. A brand new version of Sky. Beta was reset a week or so ago, and we begin from the beginning. Of course, I have started several new characters, so it's not my first time from the beginning, but first time with no main account to fall back on. We now start in home space, hit the arrow, and then we are taken. Listen to the music. For a lot of players, beta players, this is the first time they've seen this again. I'm commentating this a few days after I played this version, and this is the same version as today, but today there was a live stream from TGC explaining why the reset and giving an update about the global launch coming up in July. And one of the things Genova Chen mentioned was that it was difficult to get an idea of a real progression through the game when people had everything, had collected everything, couldn't see things again. So that's why the reset. And he's got a point. A lot of people are nervous about deleting their game and starting over. Some people don't use Game Center and have a backup. I've got various Game Center IDs and have restarted many times. So none of this is actually new to me because I have seen it before. But the music is gorgeous. Vincent Diamante has just done amazing work. It's been interesting as a beta player for over a year, since March of 2018, how much music, especially music, but music, how much music has been added over time. Also, there's music that's come and gone, some music we miss. This level here has changed many times. They used to have a written story here. It would tell you something and never quite sat well with people. People disagreed on whether it was good or bad and what bunches of people liked, bunches of people didn't like. And now they've opted for graphical story, much like Journey, which I personally prefer. I'm just looking at the graphics, the glyphs. So you start with no cape. You have some simple tutorial. And then here we meet just very suddenly this little guy. Wing light lets you fly higher. So this is a little bit strange way to get your wings or your cape. Tap that above and suddenly you have your cape. This has gone through many changes. It seems a bit sudden and like what rushed, but it is what it is. You can make flips in the air now with this new flying mechanic. You just swipe your finger up or down and you make a back flip or a forward flip in the air. You start out with one wedge of cape. Light creatures help you fly and they charge your cape. So one of the purposes of the game is to go around and find those little children of light and collect the stars, the stars, and it ties in with the end of the game. Very beautifully, actually. I had to make some cuts and adjustments to how I did this, so I'm definitely commentating after I've played this, which is actually a lot easier, though longer process. It's interesting. They're thinking there are some things that they put in the game at one point and said they'd have a future use that they've now taken out of the game. The changes we beta testers, especially the long-time beta testers, have seen, it's been pretty phenomenal. I have some video, some of my old commentaries on this channel, and tempted to upload some of it, even older stuff. It's been such a journey watching this develop and watching what they've done with it and how they've responded to player feedback. And here you get an idea of your constellation gate. You need to free spirits in order to open it. So it's very clear what you do. I like this because it used to be very confusing to people how they collected emotes and what they were collecting. That was a cut because I hadn't done that in the first. But what they were collecting, and some people, I remember hearing comments of, I don't even know where I got this emote, I don't even know what it is. And so it was like, one of my suggestions was kind of to lead the player to an emote, and they did that for a bit, and then they took it out because it was a little bit too much hand holding, I think. I mean, it was just, it's hard to know how much to hold the hand and how much not. I think this is beautifully done. Personally, I like the gates. A lot of people don't. I don't mind them as a new player. And just that hint of what you're doing here. You're freeing these spirits. These spirits are trapped. As you'll see this statue, they're trapped here, and you're helping them escape, helping to free them. And so to me, it's a nice tie, and it kind of brings a lot of stuff together. One of your purposes of the game is to find these guys. This is how you get the gestures you can then do in the game. Like this guy is a point. Go that way. I just thought it was a really nice way of doing it. And you get the experience. You know what that is now. Like I said, I had friends, people I friended who they didn't know. And I can see that this has a sundog halo around it. That's green for the emote. So all of the emotes have a green sundog around them, and the stars have a yellow one or gold one. So you see the green constellation gate go away, and then you still have a gate there, but you can get through it. Once the green goes away, then you have what you need to get through it. The stars, or the children of light, have a gold halo sundog around them. So here's this is the constellation of the area you need. This is Isle, that's the Isle constellation, and it tells you how many. You only needed one. So we'll go up here and find our second. I'm taking pictures because I was updating the wiki with all of this too. This guy moved. He used to be up at top. This, one of my pet peeves, I guess, in the game is whenever the game forces me into a place, and the game forces you into this place here, and holds on to you until it's ready to let you go. And it's one thing when you're brand new doing it the first time, but this happens every time you go through this area, and it's a little bit annoying. But anyway, the point here is you learn to fly. See, I beat the prompt. You tapping on yourself. Now I think, did I go all the way up? I'm not sure. There are three, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 stars I haven't gotten. 3 children of light I have not released. And I don't know if I went. The other emote is off to the left here. You can't get to it right now. It's behind a gate that I can't get to. Looks like I just went ahead. Okay. So I skipped 2 emotes. So I will be going back to them. Right, like these glyphs. These glyphs have been around for a long time. I think these glyphs might have been around from the beginning of the beta. So there are a few things that still hang around. Most of the game has quite changed. The little blue orb here is that emote that I had, that spirit that I had freed. He's waiting for me to finish and send him to the sky, but I'm not going to do that. This doorway is still original. Been there as long as I've been here. And I think I just realized I was missing things. Get here. Oh, light the candle. Spirit's sitting there. And I'm sitting there going, I have others to free. So we're going to go back down. I think at the time I was contemplating just going forward, and then it's like, no, let's just do the whole thing. So this video is going to be a little longer than it needed to be. Oh, there's another person. See flight trails. Okay, so there is one star child up this way, and there is actually a tunnel I could have taken, and I didn't. I just came this way. The trick here is sometimes the wind pushes you down, so you got to stay at a pretty high altitude. But the clouds charge you. And it's in this mountain thing here, off to the right there, of the clouds. Flight in this game takes some getting used to. If you're used to using 2 hands like a controller on your phone, you might not have a problem. If you're used to playing one-handed, it can be challenging. So, and I'm still getting used to it. The beta Mac is in beta as well, but it has not been updated. There are some people's also after stars. The Mac beta has not been updated. And I'm not sure I was successful at this in this I don't think I was. There's another star on top of the mountain there in the distance. That's the mountain you came in on. The cave you came in through. On top of that, there is a star. I'm not sure. Oh, there is an emote down here. There's an emote right underneath the place where we launched off with the butterflies, or with the light creatures. And you can start to see the green halo, the green aura there. So here is our second emote of the area. Yeah, I think I had thought about just going through. This was one of my first playthroughs of this, since after the reset. The reset in some ways was heartbreaking, but at the same way, it was not a big deal. I'd restarted so many times that it was like, okay, it kind of stinks to lose all my stuff, but at the same time, it's kind of refreshing as well, for everybody, I think. I think most of the beta players that I heard from anyway, all took it very much in stride. It's like, oh, okay, that's it, bye-bye. People had parties, end of the world parties. So it was kind of cool. And here's the sky. I don't recall seeing anybody complaining. Then maybe some people complained in private to TGC, but in public, nobody complained. It was nice to know our community is that that accepting and supportive of TGC. I mean, there's plenty we complain about, but this was not one of those things. The global launch date did catch many of us by surprise. Exciting, a little nervous. There's still a lot of work to be done, and of course we beta testers can just find the problems. They've got to fix them. Okay, so you still have the sorry note. And here the emote map, which you tap on the little, where that red dot is the cape meter, your cape wedge, your cape flight power meter. That's also where you tap to get your emote menu. And that emote menu then shows you the yellow emotes, or the emotes you have collected. The gray emotes are emotes that are available to find in the level you're in. There is no such hint for stars. They played with having a beacon when you chirp or call, that you would see a little icon flash on the screen for where the stars were. I didn't like it. I thought it made it too easy. Now here I am walking you through it, but this is your choice to see outside of the game. I didn't want it to be told to me. It takes a lot of the adventure out of it. Granted, I wasn't one of those ones who found them all the first time. I asked for some more. Here's another little gate that tells me I need something before I can enter. And it's one emote, one spirit in this area, which I have. So there's our third star child. So now there is no such beacon or indicator of, I have no idea what I was looking at, of where the stars are, other than the yellow aura. So there's the green aura or the green glow for the emotes. There's the yellow glow for the stars. Okay, this is back. I was going to attempt to do this and I failed here, but you can, number one, if you have more cape power, and you'll have to come back here anyway because there's an emote you can't get to until you've been to another level. But it's right on top of that little hill there, which is the cave that you came in through. It's right on top, and you can see it. There's a yellow glow. I totally missed. I only have 2 wedges and still getting used to flying. They did not update the Mac, as I was saying. They have not updated the Mac version in some time. And with the reset, it broke the Mac version completely, and bang. It broke the Mac version completely. The Mac version is crashing right now. I cannot collect that first child of light. So I'm stuck. I can't play my Mac version with my controller. And that's how I've been flying for months, is with the controller on the Mac. So I'm still very much adjusting to flight. So you have your hints. Those are your hints for where things are. As far as for how many there are of emotes, you're going to see it in your emote map. You're going to see the gray. And I'm thinking it all works. I think there might be one call that did not show up, and now I don't remember where it was. I'm here to see if I see it. I have noticed this before when I've restarted, which is why I've restarted so many times. It's a beta testing thing, where emotes didn't show gray, or the wrong emotes showed gray in the menu for what was collectible. So that has happened, and it has been caught. I know I've caught it. I don't know if other people have caught it. So it's useful to do these. Now, of course, everybody is recollecting. It's the first time for a lot of people going totally from scratch again. I think going from scratch with no main account to fall back on is very different. But always going from scratch, I think, helps you to, and see, this is where I'm getting annoyed with the animation, because it won't let me do it in my time. It's making me wait. Going through it, it just lets you see, even though you know where everything is and everything, you still get a feel for the flow of the story. Now, a lot of people are complaining there's not much story. A lot of people are complaining, and not a lot of people, some people are complaining there's not much story, there's not enough story, there's no story. It's a very bare bones story, but there is continuity. So you have a goal, you have a purpose. The purpose is vague. The story, the history is vague. The other emote is over to the left. I did not go to it. It's a constellation gate, and it says it requires an emote from Prairie, which is the next level. And it always gives you a constellation on the front of it. So here's my 2. It always gives you a constellation on the front of it. And that's another player there, and the black silhouette there is another player. But I like how they've changed this. I like how it has the 2 spirits, or the spirits you've freed, sitting there with you. It gets very crowded there when you collect a lot of them at one time. This old man has been around from the beginning. All of the elders, no. This old man and the forest elder, no. The prairie elder. This old man and the prairie elder are the only ones. And the vault elder, no, even the vault elder has changed, are the only ones that are the same. Every other one has changed. Yeah, every other one has changed. But this is the same animation I saw my very first. Now, the scene around him is different, but his movements are the same as when I first started playing. So now you're sending, you say the lights go up into the sky, you're sending the spirits to the sky. And again, they come back later. You see them again. And then there's the constellation for the area, which is his staff. And hint, hint, you can acquire his staff in the game. So I do not think I did not go back out. And at the end of this, I will tag on the collection of that last emote, though I did it later. Here I'm looking back at where we came from. This sequence is new, and the title screen is new, and I think it's gorgeous. They just updated the look of the mountain. It didn't used to have well, you'll see it, and then I'll tell you what it didn't used to have. But they've updated that, and I just think it's beautiful. And I am talking over any music. I apologize. You just have to play the game yourself. It is coming out on iOS in July, the Mac version. There it is. That castle has always been in the game, sort of, but that image is new, has just been added a few weeks ago. I do hope they intend to update it everywhere, because it's not updated everywhere. And then I get a chuckle out of this, because a lot of us, or maybe not, I don't know if it was a lot of us, I know it was me, I feel like it was a lot of us, this jumping, hopping, skipping through this gap in the mountain was just one of the first things you saw, and it reminded you of Journey and going into that cleft of the mountain, and then Sky took you through. And this was missing for months, and now they've put this back just here. They just put it back there. I'm like, okay, I'll go with it. It's cool. And this takes you into Prairie. So these little hubs are new. It's a little rest area, social space. Has your closet. So it's your first glimpse without going home, which home space is usually where you get your stuff. But without going home, you now have your closet where you have your clothing, your cosmetics and collectibles, hairstyles. I only have one. Beta players actually got an orange cape, but I didn't. This is a brand new account, so I did not have it on this account. The brand new orange cape was actually a very old orange cape, but we were all gifted with it, which was very exciting. Existing accounts got it. The new betas that came in on the reset did not. And then here's your spirits that you freed. and they're emote maps. And these are spirit maps, emote maps, spirit, what you can buy from them, what you can acquire. So I have 2 of them. I have a ponytail. Ponytail is free. Little short boy hair on the other one was free. I didn't realize that at the time. I didn't even realize I wasn't charged hearts for these. This is where you upgrade your emotes. You buy blessings or along the way. Obviously, it's like a flow chart. You have to follow the line. You can't skip. So you have to buy things before you unlock the ability to buy other things. There's a whole bunch of stuff you're doing here. You're collecting candle wax, which increases your candle in the top left corner. Then up here there is a portal to home space, but it warps me back to Prairie. The first time you try to go through it. After that, it's fine. It works fine. Oh, it didn't here. Okay. Oh, I'm in a different character. It did. This is a different character now. This is me going back. This is me going back to collect that emote. And this is after, obviously, I've played the game a bit. So the star I was talking about is up on top of this structure here, above where we are right now. So I'm going to fly up here and go to collect that emote that I did not get. So that was all for Prairie, for Isle. You then got to Prairie, and I was trying to be cute and didn't work. Prairie, then that space starts Prairie. That social space is where you start every level. So every level has a social space now, where you pop in when you go through the portal from home space. I think I will spend a little more time in home space at some point and talk about it then. Home space used to be a private place. It no longer is. It is a public place. Well, it's somewhat private. But there's your closet, portals to every level, and what else is there? Oh, the constellation table. The constellation table has been there around for a little while. Oh God, home space has just completely changed. I'll have to do a whole video on it. I might have already done a video on it. This will still work. I'm not sure. I've done so many videos, and there have been so many changes. And so I'm going to be pulled into this again. And this is what I wish it wouldn't do this. Just let me go when I've already seen this. But yeah, me being impatient. There, let me go. Okay, so going up here. I already ran myself out of cape. Go over to the left here. And it will no longer be green because I have the emotes I need, but it does have a, I'm not even sure I'll be able to see the constellation on it. It's a constellation from Prairie. Hopefully you'll be able to see it. And 1 of 1. I was trying to take a picture. Yeah, there's 2 of 2. So you need 2 emotes from Prairie before you can get in here. And Prairie is the next level. And here he is. Once you have collected these, you can no longer see the beginning or end points of the collection. But you can see this part, you can see this middle part. So you can't help other players, except other player has to start it and other player has to finish it on their own. You can't see those parts if you've already collected. And there's the guy. Let's see, there's our old man with the birds. There's a lot more glyphs on the walls, nothing there used to be. Okay, and I believe that is about it for Isle. That is everything to collect other than me showing you that one star that's on top of the cave. But it's pretty easy to find once you make your way up there. So now we will be off to Prairie. One important thing to note here is that, and I just realized I didn't mention it, is you have to finish each level completely. If you collect an emote in a level, even though you've been through the level 14 times, you collect a new emote, you need to sit through the cutscene, do not skip it, and make sure that the light gets sent up into the sky. That's the only way the light gets sent up into the sky. Hopefully they'll fix it so you can at least skip the cutscene, and some of them do work that way. You can skip the cutscene and it will still work, but some of them, like Prairie, you can't skip the cutscene. This one I think worked. This one worked. I skipped it and it worked. Prairie doesn't work if you skip it. So if your spirits are not available in your home space constellation, even after you've gone through the cutscene, if you skip the cutscene, go back, watch the whole cutscene. But the cutscenes is what sends the light, sends the spirit to the sky, so that then it will then appear in your spirit map.